Welcome back to the Altex Welding Supply by the numbers for week 15. Hi, everyone. Kevin McPherson here on Sideline to Sideline, presenting a look back at the region final round and looking ahead to the state semifinals. So let's get started. Our first number is 0. That's the number of times this season that the Brock Eagles have trailed in a game. The Eagles averaging over 55 points per game, surrendering just under 9 points per game, are seeking to get back to the state semifinals for the third time since they began football in 2011. Brock is led by junior quarterback Holt Frazier, who has thrown for 49 touchdowns, more than 3,300 yards, and underclassman running back Briar McDonald, 28 rushing touchdowns, almost 1,500 yards. And on the defensive side, sophomore linebacker Jack Farhat has 108 total tackles on the year. And Brock, well, they're going to be tested here in one of the heavyweight matchups around the state coming this weekend. They take on defending state champion Carthage. That's the 4A Division II state semifinal Friday night at Mesquite's Memorial Stadium, which, by the way, is the second largest high school stadium in the state, holding 20,000 fans. I got a feeling that most of those seats will be occupied. Our next number is 11. That's the number of seconds remaining in the game when Peaster advanced to its first ever state semifinal. Last week over Paradise, avenging an earlier season loss. They started that final drive with just under 3 minutes remaining. Quarterback Luke Gray was the hero, converting a 3rd and 20 and also throwing a 63-yard bomb to set up the game-winning touchdown by Mark Tullis. They take on Grandview Friday night at Crowley ISD Stadium. Our next number, 15. That's the number of seconds it took East Bernard to score 2 touchdowns in their miraculous come-from-behind 34-31 win over defending state champion and top-ranked Tidehaven. They trailed 31-19 with just under 5 minutes remaining and started that final drive at 2:54 remaining after an onside kick recovery. Quarterback Dan Bartlett led the way with 412 yards and 4 TDs passing. That's right, passing. This is not your father's East Bernard offense. They sling it around. They get to take on Newton Thursday night at New Caney's Randall Reed Stadium, one of the few Thursday night games we have here in the state semifinal round. Our next number, 22, the number of unanswered points for Grandview and their come-from-behind win over Pottsboro. The Zebras trailed Pottsboro 18-13 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. In fact, they trailed 15-0 after the first quarter. It was quarterback Mason Landers who led the way, combining for almost 400 yards and 5 TDs. The Zebra defense seemed to find its way after giving up more than 40 points in the game for the last 3 rounds of the playoffs. And again, they faced Peaster Friday night in Crowley. Our next number, 55, the number of touchdowns thrown by Wall quarterback Landon Yark. Only 5 interceptions and more than 3,600 yards this year. His favorite target is 6'3" wide receiver Reed Robertson, who's got 19 touchdowns, 59 catches, and 1,251 yards. They'll be going up against a Gunner defense that gives up just over 15 points per game. Another heavyweight battle that is set for 6 p.m. Friday at Stephenville's Art Briles Stadium. Again, expecting near capacity crowd for that game. Our final number, 88. This will be looked at across the state. Mount Enterprise running back Kagan Ash. He's already broken 2 records. He's looking for what some may consider is an immortal record. That is the career rushing record for Sugarland's Ken Hall, 11,232 yards. It stood for 72 years. He already broke the single season record last week in a 501-yard rushing performance against Bremond, 8 total touchdowns for Ash in that game. The question is, Can Mount Enterprise's undersized defense and their questionable kicking game hold up against Shiner? The Shiner defense averages just under 11 points per game. What may help Mount Enterprise is that Shiner is run heavy. And last week against Bremond, the Tigers were able to expose that Mount Enterprise defense a little bit and finally end up being 64-58 final that game in Palestine. The sideline to sideline crew was there. And next up for Mount Enterprise in their Cinderella season, they play undefeated Shiner Friday night, again at New Caney at Randall Reed Stadium. This has been the Altex Welding Supply, Week 15 by the numbers. Altex is Texas' own. It serves all of Texas, and it helps out by partnering with schools, businesses, and all of the talented welders across the Lone Star State. Now back to Terry and Grant and the Sideline podcast.